You step outside wearing the same bright color you wore yesterday. At first, nothing feels strange. The morning air is still. The feeder swings gently from the branch. A few small birds move through the grass, pecking like they have no idea you are there. Then everything changes. One bird on the fence suddenly freezes. Its tiny head snaps toward you. Another bird stops eating. A third bird launches into the air before you even take another step. You have not spoken. You have not moved quickly. You have not reached for them. But somehow, they noticed. And that is when the uncomfortable question begins. What if birds are not just reacting to movement? What if they are remembering you? Not just your footsteps, not just your voice, not just the sound of the feeder opening. What if one color you wear becomes part of your identity in their world? You may think you are just walking into your yard, but to the birds, you may already have a name, and it may begin with the color you keep wearing. You are standing in your backyard, trying to be quiet. Maybe you have done this many times before. You fill the feeder slowly. You step back. You sit near the porch, hoping the birds will come close enough for you to watch them. Some mornings, they do. They land near you. They hop from branch to branch. They act almost comfortable. But on other mornings, something feels wrong. You step outside, and the yard goes silent. A robin disappears into the hedge. A chickadee waits higher than usual. A crow watches from the roof with that cold, intelligent stare, as if it knows something you do not. You begin to wonder what changed. Was it your movement, your shadow, your scent, your voice? Or was it something much simpler? The color you are wearing. Birds live in a world built from signals. Color can mean food, danger, health, territory, warning, attraction, and memory. A color on your shirt may stand out more strongly than your face, especially from a distance. You thought you were watching birds, but every day, quietly, they may have been watching you back. The strange part is that the color itself may become a signal before you ever speak or move. Every time you walk into your yard, you are performing a test you never signed up for. You may think the birds are simply flying around, searching for seeds, insects, or water. But from their side of the world, they are collecting information. They notice when you appear. They notice where you stand. They notice how fast you move. And yes, they can notice what you look like. Imagine this. Every morning, you come outside in the same red hoodie. You open the feeder, pour in seed, close the lid, and walk away. At first, the birds stay hidden. They wait in the bushes, measuring the danger. But after days, maybe weeks, something changes. That red shape appears, and food follows. To you, it is just clothing. To them, it may become a pattern. Birds do not need to understand shirts or human fashion. They only need to connect a visual signal with what happens next. If the signal brings food and no harm, it becomes less frightening. If the signal brings noise, chasing, pets, or sudden movement, it becomes a warning. So when a bird looks at you, it may not be seeing a random person. It may be comparing today's version of you with every version it has survived before. Before a bird trusts your hand, it may first judge your color. The color that often gets noticed fastest is bright red. Orange can do it too. So can neon yellow, sharp white, or any color that cuts hard against the background. But red has a special kind of power in a backyard. It does not blend into leaves, fences, soil, or gray morning light. It announces itself. To you, a red shirt may feel normal. Maybe it is your favorite hoodie. Maybe it is just what you grabbed before stepping outside. But to a small bird scanning for danger, that color can flash like a signal flare. Birds are built to react quickly. Their world is full of sudden threats. A shadow can mean a hawk. A rustle can mean a cat. A strange shape near the feeder can mean danger. Waiting too long can cost them everything. So, when a bright color appears again and again near food, water, or nesting space, birds pay attention. That does not mean red automatically scares every bird. The real mystery is what happens after the color appears. If the red shape brings food, distance, and calm, the fear can fade. If the red shape brings disturbance, the color can become a danger mark. In a bird's mind, color is not just color. It becomes memory. The color is only the beginning. The memory forms when the bird connects it to your behavior. At first, you may be nothing more than a large, moving shape, a human, a possible threat, something to avoid. But over time, some birds begin to separate one human from another. This is where the story becomes stranger. The birds in your yard may not treat you the same way they treat a stranger. You step outside slowly with seed, and they watch, but they do not vanish. Then a neighbor walks by, and suddenly they scatter into the trees. Same yard, same morning, same feeder. Different human, that difference matters. Some birds are surprisingly good at recognizing individuals. Crows, jays, magpies, pigeons, parrots, and chickadees are especially known for sharp learning and memory. But even smaller backyard birds can learn repeated signs of safety and danger. Your color becomes one piece of that identity. Safe human, loud human, food human, fast human, dangerous human. You may not realize it, but you are becoming part of the yard's map. Your clothing, your posture, your pace, and your routine all combine into a living signal. The bird may not remember you the way another person would, but it may remember what happens when you appear. Once a bird connects your color with your actions, you are no longer background. The feeder is not just a place where birds eat, it is a memory machine. Every time you fill it, the birds are watching a repeated event. You appear, the lid opens, seeds fall. You step back, the yard becomes safe again. This pattern repeats until the birds begin to understand the rhythm. At first, they wait far away, maybe in the hedge, maybe on a roof, maybe deep inside a tree where you can barely see them. But after enough calm mornings, the distance changes. One bird lands lower, another waits closer. A bold one may arrive before you even return inside. This is not magic. It is learning. Birds save energy by remembering what is safe. They cannot panic at every harmless event, but they also cannot ignore real danger. So they study patterns, they test them, they adjust. If you always wear the same bright red jacket while filling the feeder, that color may become part of the feeding event. If you wear a dark coat on other days and do nothing, that coat may mean nothing at all. The same color can become comfort or fear. It depends on the history attached to it. What feels like a simple feeding routine may be teaching birds your visual signature. Then one morning, you change. For weeks, maybe you have worn the same muted blue jacket. The birds have grown used to it. They know your pace. They know the feeder sound. They know you usually step back. But today, you walk outside in a bright red hoodie. The yard goes quiet. A bird gives a sharp call from the fence. Another disappears into the bushes. A robin that usually stays near the lawn suddenly flies to the far side of the yard. To you, nothing important happened. You simply wore something different. But to the birds, the familiar shape has changed. This is one of the deepest survival instincts in the bird world. New things can be dangerous. Sudden contrast can be dangerous. A familiar place with an unfamiliar signal can be even more dangerous because it breaks the pattern they were using to feel safe. Birds live between fear and curiosity. They may not flee forever. Some will return quickly. Others will watch from a distance until the strange new color proves harmless. And birds do not see exactly as you do. Many can see colors and details humans miss, including ultraviolet patterns. Your simple shirt may look far more intense in their world. The scariest thing in a bird's world is not always a predator. Sometimes it is a familiar thing that suddenly looks wrong. Long before you walked into the yard, birds were already reading color. Their world is full of hidden signals. Bright feathers can show strength, health, or readiness to mate. Ripe berries can advertise food. Flashing wing patches can confuse predators or send messages to other birds. A dark shape overhead can trigger fear before the bird even knows what it is. Color is not decoration in nature. It is information. And when you enter the yard, you enter that same signal system. Your shirt, hat, gloves, umbrella, backpack, or even the shine from your jacket becomes part of the visual field. A white shirt may glow in morning light. A black jacket may form a strong, moving silhouette. A red hoodie may stand out like a warning mark against green leaves. An orange vest may look impossible to ignore. To birds, the yard is not quiet. It is alive with contrast, motion, memory, and meaning. You may see a fence, a feeder, a tree, and a few birds. They may see safe branches, escape routes, feeding zones, danger angles, and the strange, colorful creature that returns every morning. When a bird stares at you, it may not see you all at once. It may see color first, then movement, then shape, then memory. To a bird, your yard is not quiet. It is flashing with signals you barely notice. This is where the fear begins to soften, because a strong color does not always become a threat. Sometimes it becomes a sign of safety. Imagine you wear the same red sweater every morning. You move slowly. You never rush the feeder. You do not chase the birds away. You do not stare too hard. You fill the seed, step back, and give them space. At first, they keep their distance. Then, one morning, a chickadee lands a little closer. A robin stays on the grass instead of flying away. A crow watches from the roof but does not leave. Nothing dramatic happens. No music swells. No bird lands on your hand. But something has changed. Their fear has lowered. Trust in the bird world is not the same as human affection. A bird is not thinking, "I love this person." It is thinking, "This signal has appeared before, and I survived." That is what makes it so powerful. Trust is not a gift. It is a risk calculation, and it can be broken quickly. One sudden grab, one chase, one loud scare near the feeder, and the memory can change. A bird's trust is not given. It is slowly negotiated in silence. So, what is the one color that may make birds remember you fastest? Bright red, and close behind it orange or any strong high-contrast color. But the deeper truth is not that red has magical power over birds. It does not control them. It does not make every bird love you or fear you. The reason red matters is because it is easy to notice, easy to separate from the background, and easy to connect with repeated behavior. If you always wear red while calmly feeding birds, red can become your harmless signature. If you wear red while trimming branches near nests, letting pets rush the yard, or moving aggressively near the feeder, red can become a warning flag. The color gets their attention. Your behavior gives it meaning. That is the part most people miss. Birds remember what matters to survival. They remember patterns linked to safety, food, threat, and change. So every time you step into the yard, you are teaching them something, whether you know it or not. The next time a bird freezes and looks directly at you, it may be reading a memory you helped create. The real secret is not the color alone. It is the story the bird has attached to it. Now imagine stepping outside tomorrow. Maybe you are wearing red, maybe orange, maybe the same faded jacket you always wear when you fill the feeder. The yard looks ordinary. The branch moves in the wind. The feeder hangs quietly. Somewhere, hidden in the leaves, a bird is watching. But it is not watching randomly. It is comparing. It is reading your shape, your pace, your color, your distance, and your history. It is asking the oldest question in the wild: safe or dangerous? And suddenly, the backyard feels different. The birds around you are not simple decorations in the trees. They are alert, intelligent, pattern-reading survivors. Their world is filled with signals you barely notice. A flash of red, a sudden movement, a repeated routine, a calm voice, a familiar jacket near the feeder. All of it can become part of their hidden map. The color you wear does not just change how birds see you. It reveals how deeply they are paying attention. So the next time a bird stops, turns its head, and stares at you, do not brush it off as random. That tiny creature may be weighing memories, warnings, and trust in a mind far sharper than you expected. And now I want to know something. What color do you usually wear when you feed the birds? Have you ever noticed them acting differently around you, going silent, coming closer, or flying away before you even moved? Share it in the comments. Because the next time a bird looks at you from the fence, it may not be seeing a stranger. It may be remembering exactly who you are.